Hello, welcome to Living Arts. I'm your host, Jackie Suarez. Thank you for tuning in. Tonight we're going to be talking to some of our local friends here in Peekskill. We have some great guys here to see us. We have William Toussaint from Z Recording Studio. He is a producer, and he's also, I guess, one of the driving forces behind Breaking Bread Music, the record label that kind of was born from Z Recording Studio. We also have Moonman T, who is a singer-songwriter, soon-to-be author, and we have consummate producer Omid G, also of Z Recording Studio. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
I've been looking forward to seeing you guys. I had an opportunity to interview a couple of the people from Z Recording Studio a while back. I guess it had to be almost now 2 years ago.
4
years ago. Get out of here. Wow.
4 years, yeah.
Wow, so here we are now. And from Z Recording Studio, I guess you guys have you have the label now, Breaking Bread Music.
Right.
So, Mr. Toussaint, why don't you give us an idea of how that whole got started?
Okay, Priscilla, Raheem, and I, we started Z Recording Studios about 4 years ago now. And we wanted to have a solid foundation, so we didn't want to venture off into anything else. We wanted to just focus on, getting the business out there, And then some friends of ours were saying, you guys have a very nice place. You guys should, on your downtime, look into artists, to help spawn their career. And that's exactly what we did, 2 years ago now. We formed Breaking Bread Music. And Q Boy is one of the first artists on our label.
Yeah, I've met him. He's actually been on the show.
Right.
So he's a great talent as well.
Right. And we have great producers, Omid G, and another artist, Moonman T. And we just want to be the ones to introduce them to the world, because they're iconic in my opinion.
Okay. So now you said earlier when we were talking that you're kind of a silent partner with the recording studio.
Right.
So what do you mean by that exactly?
I played it back. I really don't, like being seen.
Okay. So you don't really, you're not there on a day-to-day
Right.
with the operations there.
Absolutely. But Raheem and Priscilla, they're the face of the company and the driving force. But I'm just like, all right, I'm the water boy. I'm the water boy. That's what it is. And but it's an honor for them to allow me to pursue this venture with Breaking Bread Music. Right.
So you're a musician as well.
Right. I play the drums a tad bit.
Okay. So that's something that you've done with a band, or you do studio work mostly?
I've done a few studio sessions, but I grew up in the church and I was the drummer for our church in Florida. So that's just a whole nother life.
Okay.
That's a whole nother story.
So with the artists that you have on the label now,
Right.
Because you're just beginning,
Right.
You're just starting out.
Right.
You have a couple of groups that you're representing.
Right.
What are you looking for, I guess, when you are scouting out talent?
Right. Originality. Not being afraid to step out of the box. A new sound. New energy. And that's what we found so far with Q Boy, Moonman T, producer Omid G. We got this kid in White Plains that we're working on right now, Johnny Price, D. Lee, his twin brother. It's just right now there's a lot of energy in Peekskill, and I believe in the next couple of years this is going to be the town of great, like where scouts will recruit,
like a Motown.
Like a Motown, exactly.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just that energy. I feel like there's cycles. Everything comes back around. Well, now it's coming back around, and it just happens to be Peekskill's the place. And that's all. I'm just happy to be a part of it.
Oh no, absolutely. And there's something. This would be more. I guess I'm assuming more of R&B rap.
Actually, we don't limit ourselves. Even with Z Recording Studios, we record everything. And with this Breaking Bread label, we want to get the best of the best. So whether that's rock and roll, hip hop, R&B, Indo, it doesn't matter. If it's good music, it's good music at the end of the day.
That is true.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
And just because I'm not all that familiar with the process of when you do have a new artist, what you do to promote them.
Right.
You mentioned that you do something of a showcase, but that you also have some dates for your artists as well. So why don't you tell us about that?
Well, this next event that we have coming up at the Hudson Room, John Ford and I, we've got together and we put a program together to see the response that we get from the crowd. So we're gonna have Q Boy, which is like the headliner, but we're gonna have other acts as well. and we're just gonna see what happens from there. But everyone is it's just phenomenal energy, and we just want to see the response that we get from that.
So is it going to be basically everyone that's kind of associated with
Right.
Z Recording Studio?
Absolutely.
Well, that's nice.
Absolutely.
You have a whole lineup of various artists.
Right.
That is awesome.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So, Moonman T.
That's what they call me.
That's what they call you? So, I've heard so much about you, I guess, just from various things that you've had in town.
Yes.
Why don't you give our audience just a little background on your art?
Well, music's my thing. R&B, soul music, anything to invoke love within the human beings. My goal is strictly to awaken, the spirit of humans, so we can, get rid of the materialistic view of our world, so we can see something deeper within ourselves, within nature, just in general. There's something that we're missing. We have a yearning to go outside of ourselves, for validation and for information in general. And I feel like the information is limited within our world, and I feel like music brings that back, soul music at least. I'm just here to expose the truth of life. You know what I mean? And I do that through my music. I do writings, and I got a blog right now. But,
Okay.
It's called Spiritual Guidance with Moonman T. I'm going to turn it into a book. It's going to be called The Diary of Moonman T, The Ascended Presence on Earth.
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
The Diary of Moonman T, The Ascended Presence on Earth.
The Ascended
The
Presence?
Ascended Presence on Earth.
Okay.
Yes. Basically, I'm an ascended master. I believe that the soul reincarnates after death, and our lessons through life determine whether or not we'll pass the test of the soul, I guess, is what I've come to realize within myself, at least. I'm 24 years old in my body, but I am not this age. Right. My wisdom has surpassed what I've ever thought it would. Just being in nature and meditation and gathering universal energies and physics and these things that talk about the nature of reality, not just what we do on an everyday basis. Just going past our limited five senses and what we see as the world. And I feel like the information within life has been limited. It's been compacted into television and radio, and whoever controls this is the one that controls the information. We have to go back to the root. And that's pretty much what I like to do. I like to dig deep within life. I like to get away from the norm and see what life is really truly about and why we're here.
You'd mentioned that, when we were speaking earlier, paradigm shifting.
Paradigm shifter, I guess. Yeah. More than anything, I feel like human beings share a collective consciousness, with trends and thoughts and ideas, and we believe ourselves to be separate from one another, but I believe that there's an energy there that exists that we can't see. We're limited to our five senses. So we're literally connected biologically, atomically, to the earth, to each other, to all animals. We just ignore these things because we've been so desensitized to our world, I feel like. And it takes the one who's experiencing life to change life. You interact with everyone around you, and they know you to be a certain being. But when you change yourself, they change because they want to be around you. They change because they see an example within you. We're all following each other, is what I've been seeing within life from my observation. So we all need that example for change.
Right, like water rises to its level.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
So with this outlook on life,
Yes.
You bring that into your music.
Yes.
And when you offer spiritual guidance
Yes,
through
I
the
do.
blog, or do you do one-on-one sessions?
All around sessions. I do videos, morning videos, just inspiration, just to awaken that spirit within us. It's something that we can't see, so we ignore it. But you can feel it every day. I can feel if Will's upset. I can feel if you're upset. We all can feel these things, but we kind of ignore them every day because of the papers. The paper says I can't approve of you, even if I feel bad for you, because this is what this says. So it's kind of an ignoring thing that us humans do, and we've been doing to one another for eons. And I think that it's changing now because we can't ignore the feelings that we have inside. So these old paradigm systems of saying that this paper is saying that I can't own this house, or this paper is saying that I need this paper to get food, or whatever the case is, anything outside of ourselves that we need to get things, it's over. It's done, in my opinion, at least.
Okay, now you said that in 2012
Yes.
there was a change that happened in the world.
Yes, astrological change. The planet Earth itself it's magnetically pulled by the sun. I don't want to say followed. It's magnetically pulled by the sun. The sun is in a cycle that spans thousands and thousands of years that the Mayans knew about.
Okay.
The information that we got through the mainstream media is that the world was going to end in catastrophe and all these things, but no, it's the world was going to end as we've known the world to be.
Right.
You know, the sun is magnetically pulled by Sirius, a star that's so far away in the galaxy, and it affects human consciousness. The closer Sirius and our sun is together, the higher human awareness raises. You understand what I'm saying? And we become aware of ourselves and nature and the trees and the sun, and we're like, whoa, we're something. We're doing something every day. And it's not just I'm living and I gotta survive. That's the old paradigm. That's the paradigm of saying that there's something outside of myself that I need to get something else outside of myself. I'm the one experiencing life. I believe life is an entity within itself. One life with many players within life.
Wow. So, so then it wasn't necessarily, the change that occurred was basically a change in the way that people thought.
Exactly.
Or just the
An
way,
awareness.
a lot of the way the world was carrying itself.
In general, we became aware of these things that, like, the news and the propaganda and all these things that are displayed within the news is all fear-based things, and it plays on our emotions and our thoughts. And I believe that those are the very tools to create our reality. Is our emotions and our thoughts, what we believe about the world, what we perceive, and how we feel about the world will create our opportunities and what we draw to ourselves, i.e. this, for me, this is one of those things.
Okay, so what were some of the influences? What did you draw upon to reach some of your conclusions?
Well, it was really a consciousness thing. I feel like when 2012 came, when that day came, it was as if information flooded within my being. You know what I mean? I learned about the law of attraction and how our thoughts and feelings can attract what we want within our world. And I started to think, how could that be if I'm this and this is a cup? Okay, how can I draw that to myself if this is outside of me? It can't be if I'm a separate being from this. You understand what I'm saying? So I started to ponder, what is the nature of reality? I started to look into Einstein and Michael Talbot and Niels Bohr and all these physicists and Jesus Christ and these spiritual masters that transcended the physical reality. And I feel like I've done that. I've reached a plane within myself that I understand that there is nothing that exists outside of my subjective experience, and it's the same thing for everyone. I believe in a oneness of life.
So this is what you're talking about on your blog.
On my blog and my music, if you really listen, it's there. It's all there.
So what's the project that you're currently working on with the label?
Foreverland is what I'm working on. I also have another album that I dropped with my brother. Well, we haven't dropped it yet. It's called The Doppelganger. We're twins, so we kind of played on that, like a movie type of thing.
Okay.
I'm with a group, it's called BAL, Built Around Loyalty. We're pretty big out here in this town. Got together with Will, and he's seen the talent, he's seen the charisma, and we just started working from there. So Foreverland is one of the projects. This is going to be one of those projects where I feel like I want to encode the energy of life, of love, and we know soul music in truth. We feel it. Oh, it makes us feel good or makes us feel sad. We change each other's energetics with this music.
So is BEAL something you're still going to pursue?
Oh
or
yes,
you just
BAL is family. It's a group of artists as well. You understand what I'm saying? Breaking Bread Music is more of a label. It's an established type of thing. This is a family-oriented thing. We have clothing and our culture. We've changed the culture of Peekskill. You know what I mean? It may not say it on paper, but if you go around the town and talk to the people and you say the name, they'll know. You understand what I'm saying?
BAL.
So, yeah, BAL, Built Around Loyalty. Yes.
So what are your plans for the future or the next few months, as far as performances and things where people can check you out? I'm
going to be at the Hudson Room, May 22nd. I'll be performing there. Hopefully we'll get the Paramount thing booked. But
the Paramount thing? What's that?
Yeah. Well, go ahead. Well, you could.
Yeah, it's kind of a secret, but we'll let it out there now.
Yeah, it's not a secret anymore.
Well, John Ford and I we're gonna put up a nice lineup for the people of Peekskill.
Okay.
To come out and just support. And I mean, we're gonna see what's gonna happen. That's why May 22nd is so important, to see how we can keep people entertained with different artists performing. So with each artist that we have, they have their own following. BAL has a following. Q-Boy has a following. You know, Johnny Price, D. Lee has a following. These other guys have followings. Big Mott, Big City Music. You know, that's, and I want to shout them out as well. They're another label that's doing phenomenal things in Peekskill. And just that energy that we were talking about in Peekskill, we want to showcase that at the Paramount. We don't have a date yet, but I'll be sure. You're right. I'll be sure to let you know when that date is.
Oh, absolutely, and I'll definitely put it up on Facebook and you know, promote the heck out of it.
Thank you so much.
Sounds like, I think that would be really nice. But as the warm weather comes, you know, it's nice to have some outdoor stuff as well.
Right.
So hopefully there'll be some more concerts out by the
Be in
water.
the freezer cold.
No, that's right. You were at the inaugural ball dropping here in
First ever.
Peekskill.
Right.
Wow, so that's kind of historical.
First ever. You froze your behind off,
I
basically.
froze my behind, but I was still there. I was still moving. I still had it.
Okay, so you have those projects going on. You have
Yes.
the BAL.
Yes.
And do you have a specific album or something that you're working on? Or you said Neverland.
Foreverland.
Foreverland.
And the Doppelganger album with my brother and I. That's a collaboration. I mean, as far as spirit is my thing, and my outlet is music for that, writing and all these things. So my goal is to spread. It doesn't matter what your preference is as far as spirit. I believe that it's one entity that is expressing itself in infinite ways. So, I mean, it's an all-inclusive thing.
Do you think that you were called to do this specific?
Yes. I believe in my personal experience that I chose before I incarnated to come to the planet Earth, to this dimension of experience, to I guess help wake the other dreamers. I call them dreamers because I feel like life is like a dream because we don't know what happens after death. We supposedly don't know what's gonna happen. That's why we fear death. We fear that the world won't remember me, or I won't exist, or the world won't exist when I'm gone. So I feel like we have a lot of control, more control of our consciousness than we believe. We've been distracted, I feel like.
Okay. So now, Mr. Omid G, you know, we have, I saw some information about you. I've been to this, Z studio a couple of times, but I didn't have the pleasure of meeting you. So, definitely welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
So why don't you tell our audience a little bit about what you're doing over there at Z Recording Studio?
Well, currently I just press buttons. That's
Right.
all I do.
Yeah,
That's
right.
all I do is I press buttons. No,
That's in the game.
I originally was just brought in as an engineer. I have a background in engineering. I went to the school of the Institute of Audio Research in Manhattan.
How long has it been, man? How many months?
Oh man. How much fun? Yeah.
Ooh, I'm exhausted. Ooh.
Alright, we're gonna have to figure something else for the
But
second
then
part, but let me hear the first
Will
part.
heard through the grapevine that I produce. Sometimes I'm a little shy about that, I'm not like, oh yeah, I produce. Yeah. So he got to hear a couple of tracks, and then naturally we just built a chemistry with first me and Q, and that was amazing. And then I just went along for the ride, and Moon came along, and it just kind of gelled. Everything just kind of gelled.
So the work that you do for Z Studios is just like, I guess, with artists that are booking the studio.
Right.
So that's separate from what's happening with Breaking Bread music.
Right.
And you also do music on your own.
I do.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about that as well?
In 2012, I've been doing music for a long time, but my first debut mixtape or album came out in 2012, titled Space Music Volume 1. And Space Music is the name of my company. And it's, so ever since then I've been really like trying to figure out exactly what I wanted to do as an artist / producer, or if I just wanted to do producing and just leave it at that. And I think that just ever since then, it's been mainly the engineering and the producing. And now just recently, you know, me and Will get together and we'll just start jotting down ideas and laying some references down, some hooks, you know, just some songs, you know, and so all that stuff is resurfacing again. All those feelings and all those emotions that I had back then are now starting to surface again. And especially now, I just had my kids and stuff like that, and it's a lot more to talk about, you know. And 3 years later, it's like, oh man, okay, you know, let's do another one.
So I did hear some things online, I guess on SoundCloud. When was it that you put that together? Was that something that you said that you did recently around Thanksgiving?
Yeah, there's a bunch of little snippets. I like to put snippets up there because I'm kind of a music hoarder, where like some of my stuff I don't want to put out there because unfortunately there's a lot of people that take stuff. So I just like putting snippets out there. And I do the same thing with Instagram and Twitter and what have you. But it's never like a full-fledged thing, you know what I mean? Right. Unless it's already a body of work that's been copywritten and whatnot. But yeah, so what you saw up there was, you know, a collective from 2012 all the way till now. So, you know, it's a little bit of everything on there.
Okay, so the music that you're doing, you're an artist, I guess, you know, definitely in your own right. So you're producing, do you have a specific working title for the work that you're working on, or?
Not yet. Not yet. Right now, what we're doing is just trying to create as many ideas as possible, and I'm really I'm trying to get into the licensing lane, you know, and trying to get my music on TV shows, wink, wink. Trying to get my music on TV shows, on video games, on whatever, as well as working with, you know, industry artists and stuff like that, and then also obviously developing these guys, you know.
For sure. Now, I don't think I've spoken to anyone on the show about what goes into having your music be a part of a, you know, a video game, or be on a TV show, or be used as background, you know, in anything. So tell me about that.
Well, normally the process for a producer, you would get a criteria of like bullet points on what they're looking for. So we need something energetic for this new basketball game that's gonna drop, and they'll more or less give you the range on the BPM or how fast the song has to be, whether it's a happy song or a sad song, or, you know. And so then you take that bit of information and then you go and experiment at the house or at the studio, and just kind of come up with, I'd like to come up with, you know, 2 or 3 different ideas. That way they have something to choose from. But some of these companies, you know, there's a limit to what you can send, so you can't send them like 50 songs, you know what I mean? So you have to kind of just be very accurate in what their description of what they want, and send the best material you can, and then hope to get a good payout from it.
Right. Okay. So that's interesting, you know, because it sounds very interesting. I mean, I guess you would just be doing some type of, it's like melodic. It's melodic. It doesn't have any lyrics to it.
Right.
And you're putting that to the video game. I would think that'd be fairly lucrative.
Right.
Right?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. It's residual money, so that's where.
I knew I should have become a sound engineer.
You know, that's what the key and the goal is. But sometimes it does have lyrics and stuff like that. Right. And the way that everything is going now is, especially in the music industry, with in any genre actually, these people want a full song. It's not just the music anymore. Like, they want the idea laid out for you. They want, sometimes in some cases, the whole song. If it's good, they'll take it.
Because some of the games are really complicated. You know, there's such storyline to it. So it's almost like, you know, producing something for a movie.
Wow. Of course.
You know, so believe it or not, you know, we have to wrap it up shortly because we've come to the end of our interview here.
This is fun.
So what I'd like to do is I'll just go through here, and then everyone give the audience a way to, you know, like the way you want to be reached.
Okay.
And we'll start with you, Will.
I can be reached at zrecordingstudios.com. Breaking Bread Music, our site right now isn't up, but it'll be up shortly. And like that.
What's the number to Z Recording Studios?
914-382-2058. And you could reach me at my cell phone at 538-2019.
Okay, so any potential artists and things like that.
Right.
All right,
Any
awesome.
potential artists that want to do some work with us.
Should we refer to you as Mr. T or just Moonman?
Whatever you want to call me.
Mr. T.
Moonman.
Mr. T, I like that. My email is t.bookings, T-D-O-T, bookings@gmail.com. Facebook Moonman T, Twitter Moonman T, Instagram Moonman T, Google Moonman T. All my stuff is there. You know, just I'll be there. Don't be afraid.
Okay.
Please.
Okay, Omid.
The website is www.spacemusicwithak.com. Twitter, Omid G, SMK. Instagram, Omid G, SMK. Facebook, Omid G. Yeah, that's it.
All right, wonderful. Thank you so much for coming to the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
You know, I'm excited to see the lineup over there at the Hudson Room on May 22nd.
Right.
To the Living Arts audience, you know, thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to check out the artist lineup for Breaking Bread Music on May 22nd at the Hudson Room. And don't forget to support our local Z recording studio. I want to thank you, as always, for tuning in, and we will talk to you soon. Peace.
Every day I awaken to a new me. Have you seen the one from yesterday? Maybe somewhere in the sea of my mind. Every day I awaken to a new world, asking where the people go. Maybe somewhere in the chapters of my heart. But I just hope you stay right here, 'cause when you're gone, it pours. I just wanna be real, as humanly possible, and unravel the mind, 'cause I know that it's proper to. One voice in all hearts, now that's unstoppable. Concern yourself with my ride, it's not logical. The same whispers you hear inside my guides, sent down to the planet, a terror disguised as a different world, a different view, a different vibe. I felt the pain, I saw the light, exposed the lies. I can't believe that you think that I stay the same. Thought I told you it's all a play, and this field of light you found me in is like an open stage. But I just hope you stay right here.